It's that time again. The annual conference of the American Society of Ag Consultants, otherwise known as ASAC, is going to be held in Fort Myers, Florida, this November 4th and 5th. Kurt Covington is one of 9 professionals who will address the conference. The other speakers who will cover a wide range of topics represent Florida Farm Bureau, Florida Citrus Commission, University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture, National Ag Law Center, Risk Mitigators and Advisors, Tyler Associates, as well as the lead economist for dairy at CoBank, and myself, Chrissy Wozniak from North American Ag. The day and a half of presentations will be followed by ag tours on Tuesday afternoon at Echo Farms, one of my favorite places here in Fort Myers. Attendees will experience farming at its most creative, with unique demonstrations, plants, and techniques being used to help farmers and urban gardeners in developing countries. A second tour at Echo will showcase simple technologies that can improve food, water, and shelter for millions of people. A third tour of a hydroponic grower is also being planned. For more information and to register, visit www.agconsultants.org. That's www.agconsultants.org. See you there. Today's Ag Spotlight episode is sponsored by Energrow. Energrow's oilseed pressing system helps farmers crush their feed costs. The easy way to make fresh, homegrown, high-quality meal, plus expeller pressed oil right on the farm. The fully automated turnkey Crush Pro is easy to set up and run 24/7. To learn more, go to energrow.ca. Hi, and welcome to North American Ag Spotlight. Our guest today is the marketing manager for 21st Century Equipment. He has a long history with used equipment remarketing and operates Moving Iron LLC. I'd like to welcome Casey Seymour today. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hi, Chrissy. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks. I'm doing good. Your podcast, Moving Iron, it focuses on the current trends and events facing dealers. Can you tell me about the show?
Yeah, I mean, the main focus of the show is to bring kind of the economic influencers together that kind of help shape the trends of the equipment business. So like you said, I've been in the equipment business here for going on 12 years now, and not being a farm kid, didn't grow up on a farm, so I didn't really have that connection to the equipment side. But what I did have was the ability to track trends and see things that were going on. And with the overwhelming majority of the equipment business kind of focusing around what's happening on the retail side of the marketplace, as well as what's happened in the auction marketplace, I found a niche there that I think a lot of people just needed to have more discussion about. And I think this is what the podcast really does. We talk about what's going on in the markets as far as the grain side of the business, the livestock side of the business. We talk about what's going on in the overall economy with some economists that come on. And then we also talk about what's happening in the auction market with pretty much my unofficial co-host, Aaron Fennell. So it's a great place to come learn about what's going on in the equipment business, is according to all the economic influences out there that are on.
Right. Yeah. And so why did you see it? What kind of need did you see that could be filled with this podcast?
Well, I think I started doing it with the idea came to me in 2012, 2013, 2014, when we started to see a lot of equipment on dealerships lots start to pile up. Now, if you remember back in that time, that was very much a boom in agriculture. Commodity prices were very high, a lot of on-farm income, a lot of things were happening. Some friends and I started to see what we saw, kind of a predictor in the future that we were going to have some issues in the farm equipment business, and how we were going to handle these. Had no idea about the commodity prices, of course, but we started looking at all this equipment that we had laying around out there, and there weren't a lot of buyers for it, primarily because they had lots of disposable income at the time, and new equipment was something they'd been buying for a while. So as we watched this, 2013, 2014, 2015 kind of start to unravel, this need for a better way to track what's going on in the marketplace and have some stuff kind of come to mind. So I started this podcast in 2017, I think, kind of towards the tail end of everything, and kind of the bottom side of the big auction sell off there between 15 and 17. So the idea being behind it was it's just stuff we can talk about. I mean, I learn more from my podcast than I probably give out information. So I'm winning here on my side because I get to learn from some great people. But I just saw a need for people to sit back and have a conversation about what they see happening in the market, and it's kind of spread across to producers as well as dealership people. So there's I think I'm pretty sure my audience is about a 50-50 mix of those people.
Yeah, that's excellent. So who is your listener then? Who are you talking to?
I'm really talking to anybody that has an interest in equipment or in the equipment business. So basically, if you're a production farmer, or I've had some people that are landscape, rural lifestyle type of folks that reach out to me and they get some information from the podcast. So really, anyone that has a piece of equipment or a vested interest in the equipment business is who my audience is. And so I spend a lot of time covering a lot of different things from a lot of different perspectives, and just trying to spread some information around about what I see happening from my point of view.
Right. Yeah, that's great. And who's your ideal interviewee? You have some people that come on regularly, right?
Yeah. So I've got two market folks that come on. Sean Hackett from Hackett Financial and Hackett Advisors, and Chip Nellinger from Blue Reef Ag Marketing come on every week and talk about what they see happen in the marketplace. Aaron Finnell's a guy I work with, and we've had a good relationship for a long time, and he's a walking encyclopedia of tractor knowledge. So he comes on quite a bit. We talk about what's happening in the marketplace as far as from kind of the auction perspective, but we dive deep into like some very minute things, like what's happened in the planter market. So it's some real nerd stuff. So if you really are into like some very intricate parts of the equipment business, it's a good thing to listen to. I have an economist by the name of Rich Posson that comes on quite a bit and talks about what's happened in the overall global marketplace, and how those influencers are we see things happening with whether the strength in the dollar or something might be going on in China, or what's going on in Russia, and those kind of things that could drive exports or whatever, that could raise the price of grain or oil or whatever it might be, and then how that's going to affect ethanol and those kind of things. So I have a lot of different facets that kind of come into it, and from all over the spectrum.
Yeah, I love your opening song too. So is that did you have that made? I just think it just fits so well.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to have one of the store managers that we have here at 21st where I work. He has two sons, the Talbot brothers, and they have a band, and they're a very popular band, and they were gracious enough to write that song for me, and I just joked around one day. It's like, hey Larry, have your boys write me a song for my podcast, and about 2 weeks later, I totally forgot about it. He goes, "Hey, check this out and see if you like it." And I was like, "This is amazing." So yeah, it's been my theme song for I don't know, a year and a half now. So
wow, yeah, it totally sets the stage, and I just love it.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. I was lucky to have those guys write that for me.
Yeah, for sure. So how has COVID affected your business?
I joke a lot that if you woke up from a coma and you had no idea what was going on around you, and you just went to work, at the local dealership, with the exception of a few signs talking about social distancing and stuff like that, I don't know that you'd know much had changed. During the peak, we actually saw some pretty strong sales during that time frame. Auction values were high and those kind of things. So for the most part, COVID really hasn't had an overwhelmingly big effect on our market outside of what's happened with commodity prices and those kind of things. But there's a crop to raise and livestock to feed, so you can't really slow down. It's got to keep going. So it's not really. I haven't really seen a big letdown or anything else. I mean, if anything, I think we've had some better times during the COVID than we've seen previous to that.
That's a good thing about our industry. Everyone
Yeah.
can just eat. There's no.
Yeah. Someone's got to feed somebody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So where are you headed from here? What's on your horizon?
Oh man, I don't know. I put these together. I do about 3 or 4 of these a week. To kind of when you start looking at everything I've got going on, and between the market folks and this, so I enjoy doing it. It's just more or less my hobby. I don't golf or anything like that during hunting season. I go out and try to track down a few pheasant here and there, but pretty much this is my hobby. This is what I do for fun, and I really am passionate about the equipment business, and especially used equipment. I think there's a disconnect there sometimes between what's going on in that marketplace and how all those things work together to mesh together to make the the equipment wheel keep turning. And I think there's so hopefully I can keep doing this, and I mean, not like I'm going to retire from it or anything like that, but it's a great opportunity for me to just to learn a little something more than what I've known in the past, and it forces me to keep up on things that I wouldn't necessarily keep up on as in depth as I have. So I guess to answer your question, what's my future? What this look like? I don't know. I want to keep doing it and keep enjoying what I do, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah. I find that, podcasts and social media, they allow us to still have that community, right? Even though everyone's far apart, and, I'm used to traveling to farm shows, and I really miss that. I miss our industry. I guess with used equipment, you probably didn't do too many farm shows. But I know anything that provides that community is really helpful.
Yep. Yeah, we do. From the dealership perspective, we do some local stuff right around here, but I try to hit the big ones every year just to kind of see what's going on, and there's always some unveiling of something that some of these larger ones. I was planning on going to Agritechnica last year so I could see, because I really wanted to go see what was going to be unveiled from the autonomous side. And every one of those manufacturers, especially John Deere, rolled out so many prototypes that there were more prototypes there than I'd ever seen it before. Typically, you've seen the autonomous tractor, but they had so many different platforms there that were really kind of showing the future of what agriculture looks like, and that's the one thing that keeps me excited about this business. It's changing so much. I had a conversation the other day with a producer about have you given any thought to what it's going to look like when you have autonomous tractors on your farm? And the idea of that was, he kind of looked at me funny, like, why would I think about that? Because I said, it's not that far away. We're 2 to 3 years away from really seeing that being something of some magnitude. And as the on-farm labor issue that we see year in and year out it's getting worse every year, and that it's going to push us towards that autonomous level and of machinery. And I think that this is something that I've talked about quite a bit in my podcast, and I've got a bet with Aaron about when we're going to trade in our first used autonomous tractor, and
right.
It hasn't happened yet, so I might lose that bet, but it's going to happen sooner than later. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so much. And you're right with the way the labor force is. That's definitely the way that you have to go. Even you go to Walmart and there's more self checkouts than there are people too.
Yep. There's quite a bit of stuff happening out there, and it's a fast paced environment. And about the time you have everything figured out, you realize that you don't have anything figured out. So it's ever changing environment.
Well put. Well, thank you so much for spending some time, and good luck on your endeavors and your podcast. And it was really awesome to talk to you.
Well, thanks, Chrissy, for the opportunity, and I look forward to seeing how your operation grows and what you see in the future. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
The way we conduct business in agriculture has endured a drastic change. Our handshake industry has traditionally been face-to-face, but with the cancellation of in-person events and farm shows, everyone has had to adapt, from farms to manufacturers to service providers. With a dizzying array of marketing and digital business choices, you need to make the right decisions or risk not being seen at all. If you need advice or a customized plan for your business, don't hesitate to reach out to me at chrissywozniak.com or chrissy.info because that's easier to spell. Don't risk not pivoting your business. Find the path that will take you into the digital space and be seen by our industry.